Hello, my name is Samson Aghedo. I'm owner of DTLA Supply Chain Inc. This is my partner, Harry Renato. So he handles the team management, production, and deliverables, and then I handle the physical stuff, customer relations, and stuff like that. So the team, we've been able to really fulfill a bunch of stuff, and the work can separate before, but recently, last of last year, we decided to come in together as partners to build out something really cool. So yeah, we'll walk you around, see what we're doing today. Unfortunately, we can't focus on the brand because a lot of them like a PDC. Other than that, we can go around and show you some. So, all right, let's go. So inside over there is then coordinating the hood for hoodies right now, and then 3 minutes before it goes continue on the machine. Over here, we have our teaming station. Once it's fully assembled, this is where we steam the clothes before it goes over for folding and packing. Okay. So folding and packing on this side, so you can see slightly. Yeah, so you don't have a brand without a factory partner. And it's important to have a solid factory partner because a wrong factory can also cost you money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you go to the wrong person, they're going to take your thousands of dollars and give you a very bad product. And you're stuck with it.
Especially as a new designer, I've been doing this for over 10 years of my own brand. So when I learned to get into manufacturing, how to create the swimsuits, I went overseas. And so knowing that, building that relationship from overseas, and like you mentioned, it's about a good factory, a good relation, good communication between all parts of the business. So I understand what I'm getting. Did I communicate effectively to tell you what I need? And then did I get the right quality out on the other end of it, right? Because I'm going to be upset if one stitching's off because that affects my margin, affects my return, all of these things. And then you're going to have to do it again. Right. And then did we have a
reputation?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You have one chance as a new designer to prove to your market who you are. Yeah. And that's why I'm here. I wanted to show people because I get a lot of clients that come to me wanting to be able to get the sales and marketing that I've been able to achieve over the last 10 years. But it takes work and it takes community. And it takes understanding what you're doing, how you're producing, and then trying to improve upon that at all points of sustainability, whatever your niche is, and then avoid the greenwashing of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like with minorities in this space, he from Mexico, I'm from Nigeria. So, like, first and foremost, the combination, it's really rare in LA, especially on my side, being a Nigerian American. So, it's very telling being able to work with people like this from different walks of life. So, and just learning from each other and growing together. Like when we first met, we didn't know as much as we do now, but now we know this industry like the back of our hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, let's get into the conversation. I want to learn more about what sustainability means to you. How are you guys changing it? How are you communicating that back to brands and how we can like partner together to share that story and share what it looks like to really understand sustainability from a manufacturer's point of view. So let's go. Yourself.
Okay. My name is Samson Aghedo. I am originally from Nigeria. I run a manufacturing company in Los Angeles, DTLA Supply Chain Inc. That's my company's name. And we do a lot of cool stuff for different brands. We've worked with some really big brands and some cool brands, up and coming brands, and different types in between. We've actually done stuff that's Costco carried to that extent, and worked with the federal government as well. So welcome to our factory and where the magic happens, so to speak. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this interview, and I think maybe one or two people will be able to learn something from it.
Absolutely. So I love that you do a little bit of humble bragging because you don't give yourself enough credit because if you didn't exist, brands like myself wouldn't exist. So I think you need to take that more, like I know you take it seriously, but I think like you don't understand like the value that you have in the supply chain, right?
Yeah.
From start to finish, from getting the fabric, us having this crazy ideas and these wild ideas about being a designer and these dreams of being a designer. Nothing happens if it doesn't go through the factory.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thanks for inviting us in for On Location. This is what my second video podcast. We're actually on location today. So we've been doing this for about 4 years.
Yes.
And it was just out of a need to just highlight and market my own brand. And I thought a different way to do that was to show people why my bikinis were better. And understanding that was by putting the manufacturer in front. So you can buy a bikini at all types of different places today, but this is why mine is more special.
Nice.
And I'm kind of glad that we're able to talk with the manufacturer and producer that is able to kind of show us why and what sustainability is from your perspective and why we've never even talked to any of you guys in the course of this, what we'll call greenwashing for today, the marketing niche and this whole, I guess, conversations around sustainability since like 2017, 2016, when transparency around the supply chain and manufacturing, use of goods and materials, and the whole world of sustainability came into view.
Right.
All right, let's get into it. So I just have a few questions that we'll start with, but anything that you want us to know now before we get started?
Not particularly. We'll just follow your leads from the line of question.
Perfect. So let me get here. I sent you some questions just to get us started. It's not to be a catch-all for these things. It's just that really to open up the conversation and then hear from you. So why don't you tell us and start with what does sustainability mean to you from a factory's point of view? And how would you describe the current perception you have of sustainability?
From from a manufacturing standpoint, I think it starts really from compliance. Being compliant with all the regulations, which you do, the insurances, workers' comp, liability insurance, owners insurance, and then making sure that we're paying fair wage, making sure that the workers are able to take breaks at the regulated time. For every 2 hours, there's a 10-minute break. For every 4 hours of working, there's a 30 minutes paid lunch. And they know exactly where to go. There's a special break room where they can sit and talk to each other and just relax. And making sure that there's a support system for them as well. Like anyone who's going through anything, we have an open door policy. You can talk to any of us. I don't speak Spanish very well. Thankfully, Renee does. So he's able to listen to them and then we sit down and talk about it afterwards. But his wife speaks English very well, so there's a good balance there. But it's good to have this type of systems in place just because I deal with the high mental stuff, cerebral stuff. He does some of the cerebral stuff, but he's more hands-on in terms of the workers and all of that. So in terms of sustainability, it's not sustainability. It's not an abstract concept. When people think about it, it's pretty much like the way I like to think about it is like you're carrying marbles in your brain and without really organizing. Like it's just some words that people throw around just to make buzzwords to make them have a conversation or feel good. But when you really sit down in the factory setting, for any process to be sustainable, it has to be from top down or bottom up, both ways, right? So we have to also make sure after taking care of the compliance and stuff, we are still in business. We can't just give us money away because we want to be sustainable.
Right.
That's not running a business. So we have to also manage the team and manage ourselves, right? That means doing time studies, knowing where our fabrics are coming from. And most times the customers, they tell us the type of fabrics they need anyway, so we don't come up with those decisions for them, or we just make sure that the people we're working with, they also have a chain that they follow. Where if there are some warehouses, they need their fabric here, but they just price gouge. So that happened to me when I first got into the manufacturing space back in 2017, where a fabric that's supposed to be worth $3 per yard because you don't know those sell it for $9. Yeah, exactly. So again, sustainability comes in different hats. So you have to really think through the entire process, right? So you avoid those type of people because that's not sustainable now. Yes, you can't be in business paying 3x what the thing's supposed to cost. And then going still on, you also then have to see your time studying. Like, how long does it take to make a garment? Can we make it less? Are there certain operations that are necessary that we can avoid, right? So there's no need to have this certain reinforcement or batak when we know that we can just stitch it down with single needle. So batak operation is going to have another person on that machine that we're paying. But then if we just use single needle to run through it a couple of times, it's still very clean. That passes. Right. So for anything to be really sustainable, you have to look at it from different vantage points, not just on the point of, oh, we're on social media today, let's talk about sustainability on fashion runway. That's not how it works. And then that's what we're all getting now, right? Mm-hmm. So you're there in the Paris Fashion Week, and then you see this high-end brand. What do you think of sustainability? Well, we have to save the environment too. That's not what we're talking about here. We're saving the environment, but really give us the details. What's your game plan? Like, how is this even working? Mm-hmm. So most of them, they don't even pay the factories they work with. Mm-hmm. And then they also have this gimmick where they actually manufacture overseas because it's cheaper, and then they bring it here and then have us put labels on it. Mm-hmm. So, and then they come out and tell you the thing is costing $2,000. That costs them like less than $5 or $10 at most to make. So things like that, it's not really honest. I don't think sustainability can be talked about without honesty. Speaking about this tools truthfully, we need to start from that position of honesty. Honesty with us, being honest with ourselves, being honest with the people we're working with, being honest with the supply chain, paying people on time. That's part.
All of us, right? Paying all of us on time.
Yes, yeah, because think for example, I've had brands like we're talking about on the factory floor where we manufacture for them, and then you guys agree on terms, right? Okay, before you start, you agree on net 15. Like, okay, net 15, I'll pay you after I take up the goods. Okay, cool, that's fine. Net 15 becomes net 30, net 60. If every customer does that, how are we supposed to pay your workers? So now you see very quickly we fall out of compliance because now payroll is like 30,000, 37,000 weekly. We don't have that money sitting around every week to pay people. No. So even if we have savings, you run through that really quickly within 2 months. So now all of a sudden, sustainability is out the window. So yeah, because now you have to really grind and like cut corners in order for you to get ahead. So in order for the entire chain to be sustainable, all of these things need to really line up. It's not just about looking fly and fancy on camera and talking about saving the environment. I just don't believe in that.
I agree with you. I think when I started at the same time you started in 2017, it was like learning the business. And when I learned the business, because my background is in more corporate leadership and sales and things like that, when I came in, I had the exact purpose, and I still have that purpose of like, okay, what is sustainability? There's a lot of talk about transparency in the supply chain, what it looks like, and what sustainability is. And there's, like you said, it's a lot of different reasons, and it still today hasn't narrowed in exactly what it is. And when I understood it, I always understood it from the point of more than just the materials. It's the entire piece of it, right? Yeah. Sustainability in the business practices of it, sustainability in the entire materials gathering, it's sustainability in making sure you pay people. And the UN, not that we have to all align, but they kind of define it from a broader scope. And there's about 15 practices that include all of this. So manufacturing, paying people, hearts and labor, hearts and minds, all of these things, materials, energy use, water use, all of the things that make this factory run and to produce at least one brand, right? So we've walked across the factory floor and we see the entire operations for at least, I think, at least one product, right?
Yeah.
And how much space you need, how many people are involved, all of the waste, all of the cutting, all of the different pieces that are involved in it. So I think that you're right in wanting to talk about this deeper and from a different perspective than I think we're usually having a conversation from, because we always leave the mills, the factory, the dyeing process, other ones out of the process, and not understanding what it is when a designer comes to you and says, I need you to make me this, right? So As we walk through your space, what is one part of the production process that you wish that more designers understood? Because, like you said, in 2020, big designers, big brands weren't paying their production; they were canceling orders, and it happens to this day. And now, fashion is even going through a further consolidation from retailers. Saks Fifth Avenue just did bankruptcy. I work with smaller DTC brands that went into bankruptcy, which caused me to also sell off some of the brand as well to recoup those things from a business point of perspective. So what do you think? What do you wish that more brands or more individuals understood about sustainability as you see it from what you mentioned, a financial, right? And what it actually is or isn't.
The entire operation is pretty much like a chain. We bring the goods in, bundle them on the carts, and then it goes onto the city. So every single person handle the particular operation. So this one is just focused on island. And including the drone the drone like for that. For me, this is another part of the ribbon labels, the brand labels. This particular operator is just incognito, and this one is doing setting up.
Wow. Highly intricate work.
Yeah. It's very, very deep. It's also incognito tape down. Top tip. So it's pretty much like a module. So it starts from there, it flows all the way out. So that way the work flows more efficiently instead of, say, maybe a single needle operator is over there, overlock is on this other side. So instead of crisscrossing, it's waste time. So for time efficiency, we set them up in a module. So everything just flows. Yeah. It's single needle. This one over here now, these are cover operations and overlock. So overlock inside that you see on the side seams, that overlock operation. Cover is usually goes on your cuff and the waistband area. So those are usually like 2 stitches going across.
Okay.
But now because we kind of double them. That one is doing the same thing you saw with the gray hoodie. The same thing over here.
So just a different colorway.
Just a different colorway. Yeah.
Perfect.
So to help everything move in concert because we have multiple projects for different people going on at the same time.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's a huge operations. A lot of people.
Yeah. Then we have cutting over here. These are just cut fabric that just came. They're about to throw into the machine. This is cutting area where the fabric are cut. And we have embroidery as well in-house. We just invested in that. That machine is about $80,000 to $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So the running a factory is pretty expensive other than your overhead costs like weekly payroll. It's about $37,000 every week. Yeah. So when you're buying goods, you have to pay that because again, people talk about sustainability. Sustainability costs money. So most of the conversations I've had, they don't really address that side of it. So if you want everything to really be fully sustainable, your sweats, your hoodie can be close to $400, $500. So you then have to ask yourself, is it really then fully worth it to go full crazy sustainability, or can we find a happy medium? I think that's more realistic than trying to be in the clouds about it, so to speak. Yeah, for real.
I think people don't really realize, and I think specifically with the American manufacturing, that it costs to have all these people and the labor and the time and the pieces, the modules are putting in it, actually how much it costs to make a garment.
Yeah.
I think one of the best podcasts I listened to was like the Business of Fashion podcast mentioned like a cost of a sweatshirt should not be the cost of a sandwich. You should not have the same equivalent.
Exactly.
So
if you see the sandwich, most of the processes are automated. Yeah, you can automate it to some extent, but not really fully, right? So these people, for example, every 4 hours, their breaks, after working for 4 hours, they have to go for lunch, right? Every 2 hours of work, they have to go for a break for 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So that's how we manage our own ethical production, right? Being compliant with the government, making sure they're taking breaks, being respectful to their time, and also showing them respect as workers and as human beings. Now,
these are highly skilled trades.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These are tradespeople, right?
And a lot of them now, like really specialized one, they don't want to work for less than $25 an hour because they know what they are worth. They know their value.
Exactly.
Yeah. So imagine you bring in a t-shirt project for us and tell us, well, China does it for $2. Can I do it for $6? How? Salary in China every year. Well, you get what I mean? So it's a little tricky. Not to bash any system, it's just I like to say reality.
Yes.
Yeah, things that are real, that are achievable. Trying to get, like you pointed out just now, get a t-shirt or hoodie for the same size price of a burger. It's that's not sustainability.
Not only to mention, like, after it comes from your factory, coming to a brand like myself, like the marketing, the models that I have to pay to put into it, the channel that I advertise on, all of that goes into what the production is.
Yeah.
We can start as sustainable using ethical manufacturing, ethical fabrics, all of these things, but I still have to market. I still have to run the business part of it, operations. And I think that's going to be our important part of our conversation today, that this is the business behind sustainability and what it actually looks like and what it translates to workers.
Yeah. Absolutely. Excellent.
Yeah.
It's been a tough road for he and I, because we've had people take advantage of us. Guys, Dan, this is the part that they don't tell you. So most times you ask one important question in email you send to him. One of the reasons why they don't include factories in most of the sustainability conversation is because the brands, they don't want to be exposed. Some of them, they come to factories like this. They tell us, they promise us heaven and earth. And then afterwards, you do their production. They don't want to pay you.
Wow.
Yeah.
We heard a lot of that in 2020.
Yeah. Some of them, they just start for bankruptcy and close up shop and go somewhere else and go start. And so we have to implement policies in place where if you don't pay us, you can't take your goods. And then also, before we even start your project, you have to give us a deposit. So that shows your level of commitment. And because of that, we've been able to like shave those type of customers out and expel them. But before, it was Wild Wild West. People come and tell you, yeah, man, I hang out with this celebrity and blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. Your production is done now. Pay us. Can you give me like 2 weeks with the goods? All right, okay. In the beginning, sure, okay, I trust you. Yeah, gone. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We lost a lot of money doing that.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So again, that's why most of the brands, they don't want you to mention, they don't come to the factory to talk about sustainability. So because again, a lot of them, they don't treat their factories well. That's just the truth. And lots of the brands, they don't treat the factory well. They don't check.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
It's painful because you see them online on social media preaching about this greenwashing nonsense. But when it really comes down to it, sustainability has to and needs to start from the factory. That's really where the nuts and bolts start from. You don't have a brand without the factory.
No, you don't.
We really don't. It's in terms of coming into the space, just first, everything costs money. People don't have, they tend to be, this part shocks me actually. They tend to be so afraid to talk about money. Yes, that's the part that shocks me the most. They just expect, oh, I have this elaborate design. Yeah, here. Okay, cool. Well, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars. No, I didn't think it was going to be that expensive. You want all of the embellishments, all the bells and whistles. So if you don't want all of that, truncate the entire design, remove all of these things, because each operation, we have to pay somebody for. There's no spirit there working the thing. A human body has to be there.
Yeah.
And even if we're to automate the entire process.
We can't do this AI. We can't make it sure.
Oh, yeah, sure. Not the clothes you're going to put on.
See, preaching.
All right. Yeah, all of that is garbage. So a friend was shadowing me that 2 days ago. And he was like, yeah, he's getting the process now. I was sourcing for a new client. And he's like, so all of these things we've run through, we still have not gotten anything. I was like, yeah, welcome to sourcing. The full day from when we got here at 10 to I left at 4, ran through town, nothing was found. It's like, really? So I'm like, yeah. So when we ask people to pay a certain amount, think about it, my time, gas, and this is not just going to 2 places, like different parts of LA, just traveling in traffic and all of that craziness, right? So coming in, you first understand the business of the fashion side of it. Understand that everything you're going to ask for, it's transactional. I'm sorry to say we're not friends. I don't know you.
This is a business.
It's a business.
You have expectations after you pay me,
Yep.
and I have expectations when I take on a project.
Exactly. So, and I say that lightheartedly, just so people understand. That one was interesting. It was really crazy. And they just try to buddy up with you so they can, you can do stuff for them for free. Yeah. When you really stay on business with them, they think you're rude and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're coming at this stuff with bad intentions already. And that's not good for anybody. So if you really want to do business, come prepared. Ask yourself first, okay, what do I need to learn about this place, about this space, right? So grab a book. In fact, I wrote a book on manufacturing, the art of manufacturing back in 2017. I was frustrated enough, 2019. I was frustrated enough to write.
How can we get it?
Can go online. I think I dropped it on my website. You can go back on my website and purchase it on DTLA Supply Chain.com. So I just broke down the entire process, like really, really done deep down for everybody. The manufacturing process is a science more than an art. You're combining so many different processes. In fact, to me, I'm shocked that many things don't go wrong all the time. Yeah, because it's so much of a moving part for one garment to be fully made, right? So it's important for new designers to really own that aspect of the business side, learn more about it. In addition to that, know that your stuff, after you make them, have a plan to how to sell. They forget that part too. Yeah, yes. See, everybody you're going to show your design to, they're going to tell you it's cool. Everybody.
But will they pay for it?
Exactly. Are they going to part ways with money? That's how you know whether you have a product or not. If people are telling you it's cool, it's just encouragement. But are they willing to give you dollars in exchange for that garment? If they are willing, then cool, you have a product. If they are not, then you should go back to your drawing board. And you should not feel bad about that. These are solid feedback loop. So now, because everyone needs participation trophy, everybody just say, yeah, man, dude, that's fly. No, it's not. Like, it's not fly. Yeah. Like, we've seen that 20 different ways before. Just really put in work and set yourself apart, because you're going into a very, very saturated space. Yes. Yeah. So what problem are you solving with the government that we've not seen before? Then tell us. And just to add to that, maybe you're not really solving anything. You just want to bring a very cool idea to life. That is good too, but explain it well enough to your audience, right? So I think those are two opportunities that they miss a lot of the time. One, understanding the business of the space and fashion that they are in, and two, just not knowing how to sell their products. Because if you don't sell the products now, I don't have future orders for you, and I'm not trying to do this on one-off basis.
I think that's perfect, because not only, like you said, you're dealing with a creative who has this great idea. It can be world changing and life changing for everybody involved, or it can just be another take on a shirt, pants, sweatshirt, right? All these things. And that's fine. I think you're right. Once it comes into the business side of it, and you see clients all the time, and I'm getting into the point where people are coming to me to be a consultant for them on how to do it, because some creators, they do have business and they creative, and some creators are just creative with no business. Right. And I see that as well as you do, and hopefully try to intercept them before they get to you and be like, okay, I've done it. I've done the hard things. I've had to learn exactly what you mentioned. And and not only just the amount of cost and labor, the amount of marketing that you have that goes into the final product price that somebody's willing to pay for the garment.
Right.
And if you don't have a plan to sell, you don't have a price point, and even you're even talking from a mass production, like that all your units are done.
Yeah.
We're talking about testing the market before you go into production.
Absolutely.
Because when you get to you at the end, and I'm going to continue business, and hopefully my goal is people are going to continue to buy. This is not just a promo thing. This is not just a one-off thing. You've got to be able to have a sales plan that continues. And once I set up operation with you, you're creating a tech pack. Yes. These are the technical requirements for quality control every single time that I work with you. Yeah. Because every time I start and stop, I have to. You have to start. You've got to queue all the machines up.
Yeah. And to add to that, it's like one thing they keep thinking is, Oh, it's my one partner that's keeping your light on. Oh,
If that was true.
oh man. Right. So, so each time they stop production and then they come back, they're like, "Well, don't you remember what we did like a couple of months ago? I don't remember what we did yesterday." It's every single day. It's what's in my face right now that I'm paying attention to. If I could do that, I'll run mad. Seriously. Like, so if you really want your brand to succeed as a new designer, you really have to put in the work and take your stuff seriously. It's on you to remind. When I said out, the first manufacturer I worked with took advantage of the fact that I didn't know anything in manufacturing, but I didn't gripe about it. I didn't mourn about it.
Yeah.
I just told myself, cool, I paid her to learn.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it.
And I moved on. About 8 months later, I started my own factory, like started my own brand, like consulting for people.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 years later, I bought my own factory. So I didn't sit there just complaining and this and that. No, I didn't have the time for that. I didn't have the time to lick my wounds. I took all of that lesson, poured a lot of effort into it, and then just went ahead.
Yeah.
So you're going to fall into certain mistakes, but it's how you really handle it that matters. If you're going to try and fight with everybody along the way, oh man,
You'll be exhausted.
yeah.
Again.
And then forget about it. Yeah, you can't win here.
Oh no.
If you have that mindset, it's not going to work.
LA is a creative
Mhm.
city, right? We're all creatives, we're all business people, so you have to have both a business plan and on top of it. I see even client today coming, they had produced all these clothing, about 300 plus units. I have another client that's wanting to sell their business, and I'm one of the key potential buyers of it, and then evaluating the business side of it. Just because you started with sustainability and I understand it, what am I buying?
Yep.
What have you done? What does your production look like?
Right.
What are the assets that I get to make sure this is folded into the brand?
Yep.
How do I make sure and then one designer didn't even test the market before she made all these pieces and just wanted to dump it as a sustainable, trying to be as sustainable because we all exist in a system. Like you put in all that hard work and money, and rather not paying for the lesson. You've already learned the lesson.
Yep.
You've learned a very expensive lesson.
Right.
So it's either going to come from more time and energy for the plan of selling it and having a roadmap to get rid of it, or if you're not going to donate it, where are you dumping it? And this is half the problem that we have here in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
Already.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. Standing here in the factory, like what does ethical manufacturing look like day to day for you?
Some of the points I already touched on. Again, compliance, making sure the workers they are being treated fairly, fair wages. They are able to take breaks, lunches at different time points. But when it actually comes to like the product side of it, right? And so let's get away from the compliance and stuff. I'll beat that horse dead already. So now with the product side, so every garment has a certain amount of waste. So why the machine is even for overlock operation, for example, as the fabric is going through the machine, there is a knife that's cutting the edges off to make sure it's within the seam allowance from the tech pack, like just mentioned. So if you want a tolerance of a quarter inch or half an inch, so the excess, the machine is going to cut it off. So it just goes down into a bag. So we have a bag that put them in and all of that. So we on our end, we have like some of the knitting mills, we send it back to them. So they have a process to run it through a machine that tears all of it apart and turns it into thread, and then they convert that into yarns.
Is that a standard procedure for?
No.
Why not? What do you think?
All of that takes you're paying again. It goes back to money. You're paying somebody for that. Like, what do you think is about? There's things people don't talk about. Like,
I love it. I need to, because I know it's not. So I want people to understand what you're saying is not a normal course of your business operation.
No.
This is an actual line item expense for you.
Yes.
And luckily you, because you have it in your mind and your heart to be able to figure out, okay, this is waste. Could it be something that I could do differently? And how I see my factory is doing something differently. But it's a line item.
It's a line item cost. You need a driver that's going to take that. So you have
tonnage.
Yes. You have some person that's taking that to the car. Now that person is not working on the machine anymore. He's taking his stuff to the car, loading it up. and then the driver gets in the car, put gas in. In this case, we have an electric one, so we're charging it. We're using the electricity here to do that. So let's break all of the cells down, right? And then he drives mileage, right? And then he gets there, but now he's on a clock time. Now we're paying him hourly for this time. And then he gets there, he has to wait until they accept the stuff from him, fill out paperwork, and all of that stuff.
Cost. We're not even talking about tariffs at this point.
Oh, no.
We're talking about like how you don't even pass on maybe all of this cost to getting something made.
Yeah, no. We've never thought of that. So it's like maybe we should be passing this to customers, but soon we will, because since everybody's talking about this stuff of accessibility, but let's really see if they're going to put their money where their mouth is, right? Because right now we're still testing it out. Is it even sustainable for us to be doing this accessibility thing? No, seriously, because all of these things, it's cool to talk about them abstractly, but in the day-to-day operation of it, when it's actually putting a hole in your pocket, it becomes a different thing, right? So is it sustainable for us to remain in this sustainability thing?
Right. And luckily, you've convinced this person you're giving the knitting mill back that it's good for them to take it back, for them to do. If they didn't see it as income from them, like how many partners do
they won't be taking it.
They won't be taking it.
So they have a system in place that actually handles this. Now, this is where it gets interesting. They can only take 100% cotton item. So this is where, for me, I am a faith person. I believe in Jesus Christ. So in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus, God told us to wear linen and cotton products. So we decided to deviate from that and decided to do a combination of stuff. Because again, this fabric, they decompose. Over time, they decompose into the soil, and it actually becomes good for the soil. It becomes a form of nutrients, right? Yep. But the polyesters and the nylons and the this and that,
the dyes,
they don't decompose.
So what the finishing, like water, moisture, antimicrobial, chemical.
So for example, I'm leaving dye process away from it now because we're doing mostly blend. So now, if we now send it to dye house, right? So the dye house itself, that's a separate business entirely, completely separate. So everything in manufacturing happens in packets. So there's for mass production, there's a company that's just dedicated to cotton. All they do is cotton. So I have a friend of mine that does cotton for us. His places are close to about 20,000-30,000 square feet, just cotton. That's it. They don't sell nothing, just 20. They are just cotton every day, 8 hours a day cotton. So, and then we go from there. If you're sending it to dye house is a separate business on its own. In it of itself, right? So that side, then you then have to have a conversation with the brand. Do you want to do sustainable dye? Do you need potassium wash? Do you want to do reactive wash? You know what I mean now? So now all of these things, if you do potassium is very expensive, right? Reactive is not bad, but now if you're doing screen printing on reactive, it's not as great. So you wash it a couple of times, it starts to peel off. So these are many
That's
things.
also sustainability, the peeling, the piling of the fabrics, the microplastics, all of it.
So if you're going into these things, you really have to talk about every single branch of manufacturing. It's not just because we just do the sewing. We don't do screen printing. We'll down the road, we might add screen printing in-house, but screen printing is another business entirely. Yeah. Embroidery is another business entirely. Yeah. So if you're using polyester thread for clothing, like stuff we do, we use 100% cotton thread because that's what takes dyes. So these are, again, the science part of manufacturing. So if you use polyester thread, it's not going to dye with the fabric. So now you have to use 100% cotton thread. So polyester thread, though, they don't also decompose. Yeah. Nylon thread does not decompose either. So if you're using those type of threads on the clothing, forget sustainability, it's out the window now. Yeah. So for me, sustainability is it's an all or nothing game. So we can't be playing this game of, well, we're doing sustainability and just mention a couple of buzzwords. But when we really get down to it, if I try to take your fabric, the garment that you're talking about as sustainable, I pull the thread off, most likely they use polyester for it. Now it's not sustainable anymore because that does not decompose.
Yeah. And You're talking about all the notes. You're talking about elastic. You're talking about all the buttons. What kind of button? Like all these different finishings, the notions, the grommets, the eyelets.
To go into all of those single breakdown, then you start to realize, okay, are we being real with ourselves with this sustainability thing? Like that's a question we should be first asking. Like, how real is this to actually achieve?
Or it can't be achieved 100% because we still live in a system.
I don't think it's going to be achieved 100%.
It can't.
It's not feasible. It's not. In fact, it's never possible. To be honest with you.
There's so many parts that you just mentioned in this answer alone, like the amount of supply chain and logistics and people that have to exist in the complete system for it to happen. I mean, even on the day-to-day, people recycling. Well, only some of the things and packages that we have actually can be recycled.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, because of how they're finished, how they're colored, how they're coated, how they're whatever the process is.
Yeah.
The same thing with clothing, right? It has to be, and then even the garment itself. Can this be worn in the rain? Can it be? Is it year-round sustainable? How many times will I have to buy the same shirt?
Yeah. Right.
Is from start to finish sustainability. You mentioned top down and bottom up sustainability.
Yep. Yeah. So it's not again because if we for going into a circular system, so it's kind of like the arrow for recycling. We go this way and then we go this way, right?
Yep.
So it's top down, bottom up. So if we're really talking about all of that, you just then have to ask yourself, okay, cool. If everything is sustainable, what about the buttons? Are you going to stop using metal buttons then? Then what? The zebras is supposed to be like decomposable too. Like we have to be real with ourselves. We have to put stand, like keep our feet on the ground and like feel the sand and maybe touch some grass and still
Be grounded. We need to be grounded.
Yeah, because it's wild to me that everyone throws the word around, but it's just not real to be 100% sustainable. No, it's not. I don't think.
And the cost that you're paying to be able to have and get space and buy space, you're buying space in a factory to produce your thing. And anytime you come in, you're like, okay, a factory got to prioritize jobs and projects, right? So if you have 1,000 order versus 200, you're not going to be the first thing that stops this factory.
Exactly.
Right, just because you needed it yesterday. You didn't have a plan to allow for the 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the high touch product that you're trying to get.
And if you want it yesterday, we can do that too. We have to stop everything else, but you need to pay that price.
No.
Are you going to pay $20,000 for like 50 items? No, you're not.
No. I think, why do you think it comes where we're already talking about sustainability, but we've never talked to factories? Why do we never bring factories in this conversation? Do you think it's because of what you mentioned, that there's transparency here? If anybody were to really ask this question up front, I think the conversation around it would be way different.
Yeah.
Way different.
Yeah. The reason why they are not included in that conversation is because.
Why do you think it comes where we're already talking about sustainability, but we've never talked to factories? Why do we never bring factories in this conversation? Do you think it's because of what you mentioned, that there's transparency here? If anybody were to really ask this question up front, I think the conversation around it would be way different.
Yeah.
Way different.
Yeah.
We're not shouting.
It's like it's really whatever you want this was the first thing they ugly that. So because people just want you first to see how unsavory manufacturing is. It's not a pretty business. Yes. It's not what you're wrong. That's not manufacturing. You just want the factory. Somebody's paid to just be sweeping the thing that is going on. And that's us actually thinking about it. Most factories don't do that. Everyone will be messy. Like I went to a factory the other day. I was just like, I don't even find where anything is. What is this? Because I mean, but that's usually the higher brands that you know. I've seen a lot of their stuff there.
Oh,
yes.
Sweatshops.
Okay. So a lot of them, they go there. They don't want to include them in the sustainability equation. Why? Because it doesn't look pretty. And then when you realize that, wait, that's where you're making your stuff? That's crazy. And then you're over here talking about sustainability. Get out of here.
You're not even treating your people. I think even you being in businesses, the shipping and the brand workers. I signed a few petitions to make sure that they're paid. The legislation supports the workers and being here and producing as much as we can in more efficient things. You're right, it's not a pretty process.
It's not a pretty process. So when brands, when they start talking about sustainability, and then you see very quickly the factories are always sidelined from that conversation because one, most of the factory owners are not educated. So maybe they may not be able to answer questions, but well, some of us are. Some of us have multiple degrees, right? So we're able to talk about these things very freely and openly, and also show the ridiculousness in the entire thing too. Like seriously, so and a lot of the brands that I've seen, they don't treat the factories well. They really don't. So they're afraid that if they were to interview the factory side on things, they are going to shed light on like, well, what are you talking about sustainability? You owe me $50,000. You owe me 250K. One of my colleagues in the business, a big brand, well-known brand, took the guy for $400,000. No, these are real numbers. Like blew an entire operation up, manufactured for this guy. They were in partnership, sold the product, and just took off with the money.
Wow.
And these are brands that you see every day that you're wearing for streetwear. But you don't understand it. And these are the first guys that when they go on interview, like, yeah, man, everything needs to be sustainable. Like, we have to treat people right. And again, it's not about just talking. Like,
exactly.
You have to really, really treat the factories well. And a lot of the brands, they just don't. They don't care. So that's why they schemishly and sneakily get away from the factories when they're talking about it.
I think you're right. You make a good point. Even long after you're going working, you're busy at work, they look up, they wave. That's a sign of good leadership, right? When people are, and I've been, led teams, all the Fortune 50s, led teams, and I know what environments look like when people. Yeah. So when people are like walking around, there's visitors, they don't even look at your team's important.
That's not the business
that's
for you.
That's not the business. You gotta be in the
yes.
Think of it. In the think of it. So what do you wish people knew? Like you mentioned, the human side of production. Like it's about people. At the end of the day, it's people touching your clothing. Yeah. Actually doing skill. As a I put myself, I still. Yeah. I still just like high school, home ec.
Me neither. Like I think the last time I saw was like I was maybe freaking 13, 11 with thread and needle, home economics.
Yeah,
that one. So, but even with the fact that I've not sat down behind a machine, not again out of pride, it's just that's not my skill set.
Exactly. And after some point, it's not going to be. As a designer, it's not for me to answer these things. Right. It's I need to be efficient at my work and what I do and my skill set to do this. But I understand as a designer all those things that you mentioned, and that I'm not rushing people. I had a client that came to me before the holidays, and we're getting ready for our big production in Ghana and all these things, and training the team out there. And a designer they were working with canceled or quit their project, and they came to me and I was like, sure, I'll look over, see what we have, where we are, and see what can be done. They're like, we need to be done. I'm like, you have too many SKUs that reasonably can't be even done at this point of the year. You're asking your samples are not even ready to give the instruction to the factory.
Right.
That without changing things, the materials that you found are not reorderable. So now you've got to change these things. You're not even ready to be in the production. And every decision requires another time and you're looking at 12 weeks of production just alone now. Absolutely. Like you will not make this date. And then not even just that, you don't have the money to pay somebody to oversee the project because that's not your skill set.
Yeah.
And then also to pay for the production. And I always like you, transparent. I took it to my team and I was like, evaluate this. How ready is this sample?
Right.
And we did it on video and I didn't say anything. And she's like, well, this is not you're just going through the technical pieces of it. And even then, they're like, well, it can't be done. This is a rush project due to your time constraints. And the level of quality for the sample is not there to tell the factory that this is what you want.
Yeah.
And they don't have the money to pay. The manufacturing alone was going to be like $40,000, and that's all they have.
So you see, again, there's this one designer that said it so well for this TV show, Nesting Fashion, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, manufacturing is rich kid sports.
Oh.
Yeah, like you need to, if you're launching a new brand, you better have at least $250,000 minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. Yeah, minimum. And this is not like, oh, you're going to spend it 250K, but no. 100K of that's manufacturing, 150,000 marketing. If
And
you're going to go anywhere.
yeah, and then you're not even talking about like all the changes, reordering, returns.
That part that you have to deal with down the road. I'm just telling you the ones that I
know. Extra 50 to 100 on that.
Yeah. It's pretty expensive. I don't understand why people think it's. This is the other thing. I digress with this one. Everything in this industry is going up. So when I came in, a cone of thread. This is like a 3,500 yard of cone of thread was $1.50. Right now it's about almost $4. Yeah, and then people still want their T-shirt to be the same amount as a freaking burger. Like no.
And that's only in volumes that you're talking about.
Yes.
You would have to literally get into mass production, so sometimes fast production, and then down the line you're paying people less and they're like slave labor.
Yes. Yeah. So, and then a lot of things that we've seen, this part, I kind of, we decry it a lot. Like, yes, policies are important, but now it seems as though they are really trying to kill the business. Yeah. So the amount of insurance we have to carry that part is becoming unsustainable. So now we're having to compete with people that just have like a living room space like this. Mm-hmm. They put 6 machines, husband, wife, uncle, auntie, cousin, all of them, they are sewing up for somebody. One of the brands that you buy. Like,
and this is producing locally. We're not talking about tariffs.
No, this is here. So in their living room, they are just set up like this. They don't have insurance, they don't have any liability, nothing. So if I am charging, like here, let's say for a full package hoodie, we're doing like $60, $70, depending on complexity, like that's full package. Fabric, dye, cut, sew, finish, all of that. These guys, they'll do the same for like $25. How are you supposed to compete with that? You can't.
Right.
Yeah, because they're not paying anybody. Mm-hmm. So they can wait to collect the money and split amongst themselves. They don't have payroll. They don't have workers' comp. Workers' comp is at 10% of payroll. So every time we write a check for $30,000, $3,000 is just for insurance.
And on the other side of that, and that's what they've got to do to keep their business alive, to earn a living wage. If the factories are not, again, we're in a system. If brands and designers are not coming and able to spend that capital investment to be able to pay a large factory or a small, medium factory, wherever it is, people have to go elsewhere. But you also get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. The quality too is going to speak for itself, right?
And the insurance that you need to be able to recoup if something goes wrong.
None of that is
there's no protection.
No protection. Yeah.
And
so you're really in and most of them they have the coolest attitude in the negative way. This type of Mickey Mouse factory setup where you tell them, well, that's not what I asked you to do. Like, well, I don't know what you want me to do. In fact, most of them they can't communicate. So they don't speak English. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a problem now.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Fight them?
And you don't have the time as a brand designer, whatever your skill set is, to hand hold that process.
So it's best, my advice, whether you work with us and another sensible manufacturer, just make sure, one, treat them with respect, two, pay them well. Just, if I'm telling you, like, I work with other factories as well, because here we can't do everything here, right? Mm-hmm. So there are certain projects I just look, okay, well, we're 2 parts, let's send this out to this guy, right? Or this woman, this lady, or whatever. Whereas we have to make sure that everything they are doing is within compliance. We don't want the drama.
Exactly.
And two, sometimes I need rush projects. So people come to me, I'm doing a project right now, not to mention the company. They need this stuff on hand by March 3rd. They just sent, they just gave me the go ahead to actually move forward the project on Monday, this Monday. Yeah, that was the one I was sourcing for.
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. And now I'm traveling out of the country on the 24th. So that means I have to finish next week Friday. So then in this case, what do I do? So I find really competent people that I can work with, whether in here or at other factories. So I tell them, how much would you charge me to do this garment? They'll tell me, well, it's complex, whatever. I'll charge you $50 because it's rushed. I'll tell them, you know what? I'll give you 80 if you meet my deadline.
Yeah. So you're paying another search?
Yes.
This is where it goes in down to the time studies.
Because I know the business. So I know what that does to their mind too. Wait, I told you 50, you're about to give me 80, and I'm going to drop everything else and do your stuff.
You're buying time in a factory.
Yes.
And then it also translates back to my final cost.
Yep.
You can afford that breakdown and you're able to negotiate.
Because, no, I don't think so. Because I told you, the brand, they actually paid what I asked for. Okay, fine. Then, because why I asked for that money is because I'm able to do things like this.
Correct.
So because I have that much cushion, I can tell them, this is not even about making profit here. It's about making sure I deliver for this brand. Because they have something big going on. Nobody's going to touch it for them. And this is what a lot of...
Earning business. So your margins are very slim at that point.
Yep. Just because I want to and this thing is, I have to deal with a sublimation company. I have to deal with a dye house. I have to deal with fabrics. I have to deal with trims, elastic, zippers. And then we have to do embroidery. And then we have to do fusing. Is that I know, right? I've never touched about cutting and sewing. We're already at 8 steps now. All right, cool. And I actually have to do a lab deep to test whether the Pantone colors they match.
Are you still researching at this point?
I figured everything out already. Yeah. Everything is done. So now it's just like pull the trigger on everything and then we'll go.
Yeah. But you're still aligning processes, what I mean, right? To make sure that what you already know comes out to what the client is.
Exactly. So, and then this is where it comes down to working with a manufacturer that knows what they're doing. Exactly. So I already went ahead to announce myself to all of them on Monday. I have this crazy project coming. Please, I'm going to need your help. All right, man, I got you, like that. Okay, now they go around again today after this interview. Is okay, everything is ready now. I need space everywhere for the next 3 days. I don't care what you're doing, I'm going to pay. So when people ask me like, man, how are we able to meet that deadline? Like, these are the secrets. When people tell you, oh, the thing is costing $2, tell them I'll give you 10. They will drop everything for you and do your stuff. Next time when you come, because you treated them so well, they're going to love you.
Exactly.
And that's how I got into this business. That's one thing everybody loves for. All of my workers, I pay them above minimum wage.
Right.
When minimum wage was $15 an hour when I got into the business, back in 2020 when I bought my factory, I was paying the least employees $16.50. Yeah. So, and also paying for their food twice a week. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays I buy food for everybody.
Employee benefits.
Yeah.
It matters where you treat people. I think even the small factories that I work with, even in the beginning of my brain, is like showing them it's like, okay, I'm small for now, and like my goal is to build a relationship to work with you. But even then, like we started having personal relations because you just get to know these people, what they're going through. If they have a flood in their region, you check in and you figure out how you can help support, or if you need to make investment in the brand. If you're going to be working with this factory and you see yourself growing, how can you help making an investment in that factory? So they also, like you said, I'm buying time, and I want them to focus on me, no matter how many clients that they get. That's reasonably. They also dedicate priority time and attention to my project. Yeah. But also, I show them the end result, because the better they feel about something that I feel, that it's not just, oh, she just came and bought these things and I'm just doing my job. Oh, it was on the runway. Oh, this is how
actually moving. Now it gets them excited. Like, wait, we did that. I know the feeling. I remember when I did J Balvin's launch, and when I saw it on Billboard, I was like, wait, what? There is no way we did that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like the team comes around. It's a good team together. Like, because they see it, they're like, oh, it's good. It passes everything we need from the work part of it, but if they don't get to celebrate, I feel like the fashion of it, the people going to red carpet events and all the events in LA and all these things, they don't get to always see that, or they're not able to have the attribution to the work.
Yeah, they're usually not invited, to be honest. Seriously.
At all.
They're
Or
usually,
mentioned.
yeah, they're mentioned even. Yeah.
Or mentioned.
It's always the designer, that's what it ends. And that's one of the reasons why I want to shed light on this side of the process and doing this docu-series on the art of manufacturing. Like, people really need to understand what goes into this entire process. It's a cool thing, really, because it's a high level of problem solving, like insanely high level. Like, if you mess up one step, you're tired. Just let me break it down like this. If this shirt, if the grading was wrong, this exact, you're like Frankenstein, like prayer, just one simple step. So everything is like pretty much building a house. That's the example I have. It's an architect building the framework, the designs, and then the blueprints, and then giving it off to civil engineers. That's the same thing that your clothing represents. So the pattern maker, and then from there, marking and grading, from there, sample makers, and then coming to us, cutting and sewing. So if any of that step there, one of them, they had a bad day and do it this way, everything is done. And you won't catch it until you sew it. That's the crazy part. There is no way to catch it beforehand.
Right.
Yeah, until you actually sew and finish the product, you don't know if it's bad or not. Yeah.
Fashion is engineering.
It really is.
It's engineering. It's not just an arts and craft project. It's not just the fabrics that you choose, the colorways. It's an engineering process. So when you think about the future of manufacturing, what shifts do you hope that designers, brands, consumers start making?
It's a good question. I think they should really think more about how they want to show up to the markets. That's first thing. It's super important. And I'm not just talking about this in like a superficial sense. Like, really think deep about it. Like, just going back for everything we've talked about. In partnering with a factory, how do I want to present it? How do I want to show up? And to my audience, like, giving you a practical example here. I've been developing our in-house brand for the past 2 years now. I've now launched it, and I'm a manufacturer because, like, I don't like that. I've spent close to over $20,000 in just development.
Right, research.
Just research, R&D, and I am a manufacturer. I know what I'm doing. So
and you have the sample
and everything. Like, so, if I, as a manufacturer, is going through that process, you, as a designer that have no idea what you're doing, you just want to get off your bed and come in here and then do one thing and then launch and become a billionaire. It doesn't work out.
Oh no.
Overnight
success is not a thing?
No. Like, most things people see as overnight, including brand, they've already been around for 10 years minimum.
You're nice.
I'm telling you, 10 years minimum. That's the overnight.
People tell me that, oh, you have a great things, and when did you get Vanity Fair? When did you get these music videos? I was like, I've been doing this for 10 years. That's how I did it.
Yep.
By doing the boring things. Mm-hmm. I'm not at every party. I'm not socializing with these. I'm working.
Yes.
And working looks like we're on the factory.
It's boring.
It's boring.
It's boring. It's boring work, but you have to do it. Yep. So if you really are thinking about the future, AI is not going to do that for you.
People don't want AI clothing. They need to know that you're.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, everything is getting a little weird now. Whatever. So if you're really being serious about what you're about to produce, really go out there.
Yeah.
Feel fabrics. Talk to people, and also, most importantly, be humble. Be teachable. So a lot of them come with so much attitude and pride. Like, I get it, you're a designer. You take pride in your work. That's fine. You should. But give room to learn. If you are, I tell everyone that comes here, if you follow the instructions we tell you, you're going to succeed. If you know it all already, if you come here and come complain after you've known it all, I'll show you the gate. We don't have a door. We have a gate. It's that wide. Go through it and move on. Like, seriously. Because if you're following the advice, then we can tell you, okay, don't go this place to go get fabric. Go here. Listen to what we're telling you. We know why we're telling you this.
Exactly.
That house, they are bad. Don't do that. Go to this other one. This instruction. because a lot of them, they're like, no, man, my friend did something there. Okay.
Some people need to learn the lesson, and you wish going through this that they didn't have to learn it the hard way. But some people
They
need.
just like that. They like the weak, the important. Going again into the future, just find somebody that you can work with. Hopefully, they are trustworthy. That's important. If they are trustworthy, learn from them. Really do. Like if this book, The Law of Mastery by Robert Greene, in the position of learning, you have to assume inferiority. That's how you learn.
Ooh, that's hard for some people's egos. Designers, creatives, very sensitive.
Yes, you have to be in an inferior position, and that's the position of learning. You can't be superior and be learning. No, your head is already full. There's nothing that can go in.
Yeah, you need these people. You need these processes.
Exactly. You're looking down on them. You're talking to them condescendingly, and you're. I can't tell you how many people have given their money back. Like, see, you know what, man? Here, out.
You know how to do it.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
Because that's your $15,000 they think you're about to put here. I bet you already don't sleep. I have a baby, right? And I don't need you calling me at 5 in the morning. I've had clients do that. 5 in the morning.
No respect for
No.
I want.
Yeah. So I'll give them just off and block them. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like very, very strict on that because there are boundaries. And I'm sorry, some people just don't understand that. Like the fact that I'm your manufacturer does not mean I am your slave. I'm not your friend. We're not brothers. We can become friendly and friends down the road after we work together for years.
Yes.
Not the day you come through my door. I don't know you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Already asking for discounts and all these things off the process.
Yeah, that part is funny to me. I'm like, dude, you guys buy big name designers that they make overseas for $3,000. You don't want to invest $3,000 for your samples, for your pattern and samples, for your own brand, or you can go buy a Gucci, Versace, and this or that, Chi and Chi, and then but you can give them the 3,000 and 5,000 for your own thing that you're about to bring it to the world.
And you're here, you're able to have a little bit more insight and handle, or you're not working different time zones. I've done it all. I've been in 7+ hour time zone difference and trying to figure out.
I still do stuff in China.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because there are certain things we just can't do here.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain clients that actually ask me for China because they are doing so much volume, they want those price points. We just handle the logistics for them.
Exactly. Yeah. But they want another expertise to help mitigate that process. So for anyone listening today who's never stepped foot in the factory, what do you hope that they get from our conversation, our mini tour today, what you said about so many things in the process? That I hope people listening to this, and I think anybody that's listening to this is a lover of the business, a lover of fashion, and they're picking up on little things as they do their own research, hopefully as they're a brand or thinking about becoming a brand or thinking about becoming a producer. Or what I think a lot of people are doing now is because it's starting in one place, finished in another, and relabeled to have the marketing, the cachet of another place, right? I think the future of fashion is going back to, and has been democratized in a way with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, where they know how to make their own clothes. Like we have learned through some time of our lives when we were younger and having to go back and we have a different skill set. What do you hope that they take away from this conversation?
If you're really itching to come into the manufacturing space, be honest with yourself first. Do you really have to? That's the first thing. Like, are you doing it because some friend told you your logo on t-shirt is cool? Or is there something you really want to bring to the world? And are you willing to fight for that? If you're willing to fight for it, then pay the price to work with the best people. Really. Just pay the price to work with the best people. And when you do, also give yourself around 18 months. Yes, it's not going to be like a 3 months process, no. Give yourself at least 18 months. It's enough time to learn whether people actually like what you're doing, if they're going to pay for it, and if it's going to be successful. So all of that covers everything. The manufacturing side, the business side, your product to market, your launch date and everything. 18 months, right? So if you are able to give yourself the time frame and assume that position of learning and really validate your product by asking yourself, do I really need to be doing this? If all of that is a yes, then find a reputable manufacturer, let them guide you. Don't find the cheap guy. Like a lot of them are in downtown. They can sew, but they don't understand problem solving. There are levels to this thing.
Cut and sew factories versus
Yes.
a full manufacturing
Yes.
process.
Yeah. The cut and sew ones, some of them they do well, but again, what we do is problem solving. So we solve problems on a very high level. And most clients, when they come to me, I had this conversation with this client the other day. So he was in downtown. He looked up companies. My company popped up. He called me. I was in Reno, Nevada at that time. I told him to come to the factory. They'll take care of him. So they're asking him questions, and he has these lofty ideas about what he wants to do. So I took an intake with him. I called him. And I was like, so what do you really want to do? What problem are you trying to solve? This guy got offended. He's like, I don't have any problem. Oh man, I was like, all right, okay, yeah, there's no we can work together. I just said, okay, don't worry, we'll call you back. That was it. Yeah, no. He's like, no, man, what do you mean problem? I don't have any problem. So then what are you doing?
Right.
What are you creating? When you create something, you're solving a problem.
Or a need.
Or a need. Either way, like even mathematics is called problem solving. So whatever you're bringing to a market, there's something that is not there that you're looking to place there. That is a problem you're solving for a need that is there.
Right.
The more problems you solve, the more money you make. So if you're having the attitude of like, well, I don't have any problem. What do you mean problem? I just want to make clothes. You already have this all wrong to begin with. So you can start from. Yeah.
Even like taking that a step further, what I started telling you this morning is a client came to me, their designer, they were able to make all these units, but didn't have a plan and started backwards. And now they have sizing, and now they have a collection that is seasonally not relevant. Seasonally not relevant. Even in this climate, only a few pieces out of the collection would be able to be reasonably sold because she wants to liquidate these things to be sold now.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, there's no branding behind it to even work with any type of consultant or marketing team. So there's some investment that still needs to be done, even monetarily and still from the founder side, to build interest around this collection. Because if you're just making clothes and you haven't tested who wanted, and you're not doing it for the right environment, where are you selling these things?
Yeah.
It requires marketing, sales, and operational support that now you're overwhelmed because now you're just looking at, I just spent $50,000 or $250 at this point to put into this collection, and I can't move it.
Yes.
And some people, as we know, just dump it.
Yeah. But now you're out of pocket 50 or 250,000. All of that, you would have been able to save it if you just follow the steps I broke down.
And if you like I've consulted, and if you just pay a consultant's time and the validity that you've seen, either client testimonials or their brand themselves, the work that they put in to get market awareness and create a need and give you a sales plan.
Yeah.
You have to at least minimum to spend for any market or sales support at least $5,000.
Yes.
At least $5,000.
Yeah. And that's monthly. Yeah. That's monthly. So one ways to do this, find people like my friend here, Tiffany, to guide you through the process. And again, all of it for me stems from honesty. So there are some people in that consulting position that are also incredibly dishonest.
Correct.
Incredibly dishonest. So I've seen the way you work. I've seen like the stuff you're putting out, and I see your heart is in a really, really solid place. So find someone like her to guide you through it, and then she then can lead you to manufacturers like us, hopefully, that can help you take the product then to a finished product, refined products, and then all of us just keep settling them.
I agree. And like you said, I only work with people that I trust and I can see the process. And so I know if it's a complicated process and we're able to, okay, let's figure out what your project is. Let's refine it in some angles that you can afford, and I'll give it to the right person. Because again, all of our names are on it. It's a small city, and you want the best for the next person that comes up to you. At some point, we're going to be retiring and handing this business over to our partners and successive, all these things that we want the next designers to come out. Right? We're not in this because this is an easy industry at all.
No, it's really, really complicated. There are easier things to do. For real, like looking back, everyone asks me the same question. Like, how did you go jump into this? Multiple companies that I phoned, trying different ideas. This one took off, and I just went with it. Yeah.
And you like the problem solving.
I really do. I actually enjoy the problem solving side. My brain is just, my brain works that way. So that part has kept me grounded, to be honest. But the sewing side, the drama, the pressure, sometimes, man, I will tell you, sometimes I want to burn the battery to the ground. But no, just a joke. So we'll laugh about it and then just get back to work. So yeah.
And I think you really take, and I can feel it, like you really care about the people that you work with. You have your business partner back here, your business partner down there, like all these people that you care about, that they're coming to work and showing up every day, leaving the human stuff at the door, but coming in to do the best job they can do for the day. I appreciate you and your time and the opportunity to share your story and highlight the real work that's happening, especially as the industry is just changing in so many different ways. Many brands are not able to get to China and to source on other things and have these products, but they're having to understand that it's the real cost of domestic manufacturing, even if you're able to go overseas. And people talk about tariffs just as much as they talk about something like, it's not even the tariffs. It's the tariffs may be $100 by the time you get it over and get it directly delivered to you, but you're talking about the entire process to make a garment.
Right. Like here right now, we don't manufacture here overseas, so we're here. So I focus on what's in front of me, right? Yeah. So we're telling people through this interview what is actually being done here. And we're grateful for all the support from our customers so far. We would like more business that I have to plug in.
We want you to. That's why we do this.
Help us. We want to be able to keep our people employed. Just again, sustainability, people have to work. If AI does everything, they're out of a job. So keep all of that in mind, the full circle. So thank you very much for having me here to do this interview. Hopefully we can do more of it.
Absolutely.
While we continue to build out the stuff. Next time I would like to show you the cool thing we're doing with this brand that we're building in-house. It took some time to come together, but we got some stuff. But we'll show that next time.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time again, Samson, and I look forward to your success and sharing and being not only your customer, but sending customers your way once they know what they need.
Yes.
Like, this is where you should go manufacture.